got the touch. You got the power.
What's up, beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Prime Wars Trilogy Special Edition Deluxe Class Punch-COUNTERPUNCH. The third figure that we've gotten in this special edition set, the first being Combiner Wars, the second being Titan's Return, and Punch-COUNTERPUNCH here represents the power of the primes. Now, it's also worth noting that, obviously, this is the package, but when you get it from, well, Amazon is where I got mine. That's where a lot of people are getting theirs. You get this little mailing box, which is kind of interesting because that's not actually how it's mailed to you, and it's thrown in like a little envelope. So you do get that, but for this package, really very nice. You got images of Punch-COUNTERPUNCH right there, Prime Wars Trilogy, the Transformer Generation logo. The side here has more of an expanded image of the characters and everything. The back here shows his vehicle mode as well as his two alternate robot modes. And it says, Punch is an Autobot double agent. He converts into his alternate identity Counterpunch to infiltrate the Decepticon ranks. And then obviously this is an exclusive figure, and the other added bonus is that you do get a new looking Prima Prime with some really nice translucent paint there. The side here says the Autobots and Decepticons use Prime Masters to wield the incredible powers of the most legendary bots in the universe, the Primes. Prime Masters carry the spark of a Prime, allowing them to share a Prime's godlike ability with other bots. But that's it, and you get a little window. But yeah, for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Punch-COUNTERPUNCH opened up out of his packaging and obviously in his vehicle mode. Now starting off first with Prima, who is the first Prime, coming in to take a closer look. Unfortunately, again, if you are not aware, I have moved into a new place. Times have changed, things in my life have changed, and it's time to move on. And unfortunately, my collection is still at my old apartment, so I can't really do a comparison to the original Prima, but this absolutely is terrific. You can see some really nice silver paint, and then throughout the whole body is this blue translucent plastic, which I think looks absolutely amazing. Even the face has it. And coming in, I wonder how close I can get in here before it starts getting crazy. And that's pretty good. You poke it out, that's not too bad. You can see that there is some silver paint around the head, which looks good. The silver goes throughout the whole body, obviously, but you do have that silver to kind of denote what's actually part of his helmet, I guess. You can see that the chest section here is done in this gray plastic. Same with the legs. You look around to the back section, kind of blends in. It's a lot brighter here, so it's a little bit harder to see, but the little like eye looking things, you can kind of see. There you go. Those are very light blue, so it kind of blends in. And then obviously to transform him, that's it. That's all you do. That's how it is. Now, what's interesting about Punch-COUNTERPUNCH is that he comes with one of those combiner hands, but there's no combiner port or anything with this, so you can't really use this as a combiner. So they just basically give you an extra hand. Now you can take this piece out, you can take Prima and slam him in there, and there you have Prime armor. It's the thing that you can do. You can sit him right there, and then obviously you can use this little clear piece here as a weapon if you really wanted to, but they show this being a weapon as well. It's kind of silly, honestly, but you have the little fingers that come out here, but you can kind of see like little thrusters there, and I think that's what they're trying to go for with this. You plug it in there, and then you have like little thrusters there to kind of help things out. As for Punch/Counterpunch, now Punch is an Autobot. Counterpunch is his alternate form that is a Decepticon, but he's an Autobot. He's got two different robot forms, but one vehicle mode, and this looks really very nice. Now, I have come across some information that apparently like the shoulder sections are misassembled, which is causing some issues. Obviously, I'm wondering if I have some of that because like this is like not lined up really well at all. But you can. I don't know all the details about the misassembled shoulder. That's definitely unfortunate because this is probably one of the Primor Trilogy figures that most people were looking forward to. And that's definitely unfortunate. For the color, though, you got a really nice blue. You got some nice red rims, a little bit of silver accent there. The back does have some nice red taillights put in there, a little bit of silver. For the back window, you can see that the front windshield and the side ones are done in a clear plastic, which looks pretty good. And then you got some silver here in the front, which really nicely pulls out some extra detail. Overall, very cool looking car mode. Again, I don't have anything to compare it to, but it's a deluxe figure, so really nice. It rolls. You can store his gun underneath here. There's a little tiny slot on the handle itself, and then you got a little peg right like there that you just put that up there, push that in. You can see that the underside here has robot stuff. You can see the chest, you can see Punch's head in there, but when you put the gun in there, it kind of hides it pretty decently, so I don't mind it all that bad. Now to transform him, come back a little bit, really very cool. I actually really like this figure. Yes, he is misassembled, according to people, but I think that he is really cool. Now, you kind of have to split this, and it's a little bit tricky to do. All this here kind of locks up around here, so it's a little bit easier just to kind of pull and separate this stuff. So just kind of pull that apart. There we go. That'll loosen all that up, and then you can rotate that out to the side here. And so do that on that side as well. And then this whole assembly comes around, which is kind of cool because most of the Combiner War figures, it rotated up to the top. So it's cool that this is different and it's on the bottom. So you rotate that down, spin that around, take this little section here, you tuck this under, and then bring that up. Do that on that side as well. Fold that in, fold that in. You can separate these legs just like that. Let me angle up a little bit so we can see everything a little bit better. Now this is where things get a little bit kind of, well, not tricky, but there is not an order. It's just kind of fiddly how you want to do it. Fold this piece back, and then this piece folds down. Does this fold in? No. Down, down, collapse that just like that. Now for Punch here, you have to bring these like apart, and then there's a little tiny hole right here. It's rectangular, and you got a rectangular peg right there. So you're supposed to bring this around and then line that up and push that in, and it's supposed to lock that into place, but it doesn't do a very good job of it. So I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then take the whole shoulder assembly here and slide that down. Do that on this side as well. Pull this away, kind of, there we go. Pull that out like that, and then again, you're supposed to tab that in, but it doesn't really sit in there all that well. So I'm just gonna put it there, and then again, shift that down, kind of straighten out the head, and there you have Punch in his robot mode. Really cool. Again, I don't have anything to compare it to, so I'm sorry. There's Prima. Let's set him there, see if he'll stand. He's a little bit back heavy, and you can't really, there we go. I'm gonna do that. Play with him. Stand. Come on. Stand. Stand. There we go. Get these out of the way. All I have here is a Febreze can because I have a stinky ass. So there's your size comparison. But again, really very cool looking toy. Now, obviously, like the back section here is going to be Counterpunch, but looks really good from any angle. Honestly, you can, like I said, angle these how you basically want, but I do like that kind of flare going on with them. You get more of that blue color coming through here with like the forearms, nice red paint for the actual hands. Chest looks really good. You got a nice Autobot logo there with some silver surrounding bits, which looks good. The legs down here are what they are, some silver and red paint detail on there. For his articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you can kind of You could rotate it any way you want. He kind of looks up and down, but the problem is he's got this mask section which goes with the counterpunch thing, and when you move it forward, that whole thing kind of wants to shift. But overall, pretty decent. You got shoulder ball joints, but all this stuff does kind of get in the way. The little hinge here does help, so you can kind of mitigate that a little bit with all the kind of junk around the shoulders. He does rotate at the upper part of the bicep, bends here at the elbow. He does rotate at the waist. Hips here move forward and back. They move in and out. Those are ball joints, yeah. He also does rotate. Well, ow! Well, I thought I mean, there's a rotation up there, but it doesn't really, oh yeah, that's really stiff. So, all right, yeah, it does rotate. Just really stiff, at least on mine, so be aware of that. And then you do have a bend here for the knee. Now, the knees are a little bit ugly and kind of gappy here, but they have to work both ways. Same thing with the arm. So while you can move it forward, you can also move it back, because the other thing is counterpunch. Now, to get to counterpunch, this is, I absolutely love this. I was like, wait a minute, do you just like rotate the hand? But then I'm like, that's not going to be right. So what you actually do, this whole section here folds out. You got a little hideaway section that allows you to rotate the fist around, revealing a new fist, and then you put that back down. I like that a lot. Do that as well. We're gonna spin them around like so. And then these bits here, they just kind of fold up, kind of collapse that down, rotate these around, and kind of collapse that down like so. Now you can take this Autobot logo, you got a little flap. You can fold that, which is nice. It hides it from the back. It doesn't look like he's just an Autobot. And then take this section, fold this all the way back, and it's like the back of his head, kind of. And then take this, fold that up, and there you have counterpunch. And you can, again, you can kind of play with these how you want, kind of angle those up, whatever really you want to do. I mean, again, that's cool. I think that they did a great job with this. Honestly, the only other punch-counterpunch figure that I can remember getting in recent years was the Transformer Collector Club one, and that wasn't bad. It utilized the classic Sunstreaker mold, and the head was just ridiculously too tiny on this. This looks so much better. Obviously, you have a gun here, so you can put this guy here, and I'm going to try doing a cool little thing. Let me set this here. We're going to do this. Set him right there. Trying to set up my little thumbnail. But again, really very sharp looking figure. Same articulation. The shoulders get a little bit better in terms of that motion, because this is more off to the side, rotates, hinge. You do have the swivel still, forward and back at the thigh, and now the legs bending the opposite direction. So super cool toy. And then again, to go back, we're going to just take this. I love that you can hide that. That's really very cool. Take this, rotate that, spin, rotate. This whole thing, again, you kind of angle that, kind of just line that up right there where you would kind of pretend it would go. Do that. There we go. Pop that little section out. Again, I don't know. People are saying that the shoulders are assembled wrong. I don't know which. I honestly don't know. I have no clue. It was posted on Twitter. My buddy Chuck Dog, I think, posted it. I didn't really see it, so I didn't pay that close of attention to it. But there you have just Punch by himself. So again, pull him back there so we can get the little thumbnail thing going. That should be pretty cool. But very solid toy. Now this is where people talk about that misassembly causing problems. It's with the lining up of these panels when you're transforming them back into vehicle mode. So I'm gonna try. I mean, I can still do it. I can still transform them. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing, but you bring this down. This whole thing shifts up. and then locks in on the side, locks in on that side, like so. I mean, this definitely doesn't look like it's completely lined up, but I don't know. And then there's little slots and tabs on the inside of his forearms. Those kind of pop out a little bit easier, but I can still get them to pull together. Take this. You want to hide that. And then come around here to these legs. Open these up. Fold that out on both sides. Like that. And then you got a little peg right here on the inside of his thigh. You want to squeeze that and then rotate this whole thing up and around on the bottom of them. Kind of hold that there into place, and then this comes over. You want to lock all this in along the sides, including the little windshield here on the top. So tab that down like that, and then do that on this side as well. Lock that down, squeeze all of that, and when you're done, there you have Punch back in his vehicle mode. But once again, guys, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate your support by letting me know simply by hitting that thumbs up button. It actually does go a long way towards helping me out, and I would really appreciate it. As for Punch Counterpunch here, of the 3 Prime Wars Trilogy figures that we've gotten, we got Blastoff, we got Repugnus, and we have this guy. This is probably my favorite one. Repugnus I don't really care that much about. Blastoff I really like. I think that he works way better as the limb for Bruticus. I know some people prefer the jet as opposed to a space shuttle, but me being the classic kind of guy, I like that space shuttle look. But this is definitely the best figure. Vehicle mode wise, I think looks fantastic. I love the paint on here. Very simple, but looks really cool. It's very unique alt mode. Almost kind of looks like a Pontiac Solstice with like kind of the back and then the front. Much more sporty, kind of like a Stingray Corvette. Either way, it looks really cool. I love the fact that you get a very cool looking Prima with this set. I don't have really any idea why you get this. It's kind of pointless because you can't use this as a limb. So it's just going to go into a pile of other hands. Transformation is very simple. There's some cool things that are happening, like with the front section here kind of folding into the chest. I really like that. I love what they did with the hands. That's something very simple, but it works really, really well. And it's just nice to have a Punch Counterpunch figure that finally has a nicely proportioned head. I have no idea what the Transformer Collector Club was thinking with that guy. In robot mode, both of them look fantastic. There is the whole misassembly of the shoulder thing. Again, I didn't research too much of it. I literally just saw that right before I popped in here to do the video. But I didn't necessarily see a problem because I was able to transform him. So, I mean, I don't know if there's an easier way. I mean, it is a little bit tricky to get everything lined up, but I'm still able to do it. So, even if it's misassembled, I don't think it's a catastrophic misassemble. Either way, great toy. Very happy with how it turned out. Now, in terms of where it is available, I don't know what stores are carrying it. I don't know if Big Bad Toy Store is. The only place that I knew that you could get it was through Amazon. It seems like a lot of people are trying to get this, so it goes in and out of stock very quickly. But what I'll do is I'll put a link down in the video description where you can go to Amazon and you can keep tabs and check availability on this guy. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Before I go, I want to send a huge thank you if you made it all the way to the end of this review. Another way that you can really help support my channel is making sure that you watch a video all the way through. And if you did that, thank you. Also, a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.